Welcome to Sugosha Media News. Today is 8th of June, and here are the top defense, aerospace, and strategic technology developments making headlines around the world. India is accelerating military modernization with plans to add 9 new submarines to the Navy's fleet, while also seeking indigenous 80 rockets for its MiG 29K fighters. Astra Microwave is nearing completion of the active antenna array unit for the Virupaksha AESA radar. L&T has unveiled both an unmanned turret for future combat vehicles and its TEJASTRA roadmap for directed energy weapons. India's defense industry continues to expand as data patterns BDL, HAL, and L&T benefit from growing BrahMos missile exports. The government has also opened tactical missile production to private companies, ending BDL's monopoly. Meanwhile, Anadrone has begun developing the 1,000-kilometer range SHAKTI loitering munition. India is preparing to test fly a full-scale high-altitude pseudo-satellite for persistent surveillance missions. In aerospace manufacturing, a major global industrial developer has announced a 150 crore rupees investment in Hyderabad's aerospace sector. Internationally, Collins Aerospace has expanded its landing gear facility in Poland, while Hensoldt and Indra have successfully tested the first ECRS Mark I Eurofighter radars for Germany and Spain. Poland's WB Group has also secured a new contract for Warmate, FlyEye, and Gladius unmanned systems. Meanwhile, tensions in the Middle East continue to rise, with United States intercepting Iranian drones as military activity escalates across the Gulf and Lebanon fronts. The news in detail. India will acquire 9 new conventional submarines in the first phase, up from 6 to strengthen underwater capabilities. Project 76 will build at least 6 next generation submarines in India, leveraging expertise from Project 75I. Aiming to give a push to indigenous weapons for MiG 29K and MiG 29KUB carrier based fighter jets, Navy has invited domestic companies to design and manufacture 80 aero rockets for its aircraft carrier launched fighter fleet. The 80 aero rocket is a dual purpose munition designed to neutralize armored targets like tanks and armored personnel carriers, as well as unarmored targets like radar installations, parked aircraft, and troop concentrations. As per the EOI, all subassemblies must be developed indigenously and no dependence on foreign OEM would be permitted. The Navy plans to procure indigenous 273 live rockets and 2,400 practice rounds after a prototype successfully completes development and testing. The tentative timeline for induction is 2026-27. As per the EOI, the weapon must remain functional in temperatures ranging from minus 60 degrees Celsius to plus 60 degrees Celsius. Astra Microwave is now in the final stages of completing the active antenna array unit for the Virupaksha AESA radar, a critical component of India's 63,000 crore rupees Super Sukhoi modernization program. The full radar system is expected to be ready for integration into the Air Force's Sukhoi 30 MKI fleet by the end of 2026. This unit houses approximately 24,000 gallium nitride based transmit receive modules which provide superior power output, thermal efficiency, and resistance to electronic jamming compared to older technologies. With a detection range of 300 to 400 kilometers for conventional fighter aircrafts and over 200 kilometers for stealth targets, the radar will significantly enhance India's air combat capabilities. It is capable of tracking up to 100 aerial targets simultaneously, providing the Su-30 MKI with a first look, first shot advantage when paired with long range indigenous weapons such as the Astra Mark III missile. The radar's advanced features include multi-target tracking, exceptional resistance to electronic warfare, and adaptability for deep surveillance roles. Its antenna repositioner allows wide-angle scanning, effectively transforming the Su-30 MKI into a mini AWACS platform. This capability will be crucial for networked operations against adversaries deploying stealth aircraft such as China's J-20 or Pakistan's potential J-35A. L&T's unmanned turret to transform India's future combat vehicles. L&T's unmanned medium caliber turret for India's future infantry combat vehicle represents a decisive step forward in the evolution of mechanized warfare. Conceived as part of the effort to replace the aging BMP-2 fleet, the turret embodies the philosophy of maximizing crew survivability by relocating soldiers into the safety of the main hull while enabling remote operation of weapons. Developed jointly with the DRDO, this indigenous system integrates advanced firepower, protection, and digital combat technologies, aligning with India's broader push for self reliance in defense manufacturing. The turret's primary armament consists of a rapid-fire 30 mm automatic cannon, complemented by a 7.62 mm coaxial machine gun. This combination provides versatility against both infantry and light armored threats. To counter heavier armor, the system incorporates launchers for next generation fire and forget anti tank guided missiles, ensuring the ability to neutralize adversary tanks and fortified positions. Such integration of precision missile systems with a medium caliber turret underscores India's intent to field platforms capable of engaging across the full spectrum of battlefield threats. Crew protection has been prioritized through the use of composite armor, which reduces overall weight while delivering STANAG Level 4 ballistic protection. This standard ensures resilience against 14.5 mm armor-piercing rounds and artillery fragments, a critical requirement for survivability in high-intensity combat environments. The balance between protection and mobility reflects lessons learned from modern conflicts where agility and survivability must coexist. L&T has unveiled TEJASTRA, India's Directed Energy Systems Roadmap, which represents a structured pathway towards the development of advanced laser-based defense technologies. The initiative is anchored in the vision of the path to precision. The power to protect and outlines the technological pillars that will define India's progress in this domain. These pillars include the laser source, beam combining beam control, and mission capability. Each of these elements is designed to ensure that the systems are high power, fiber based, and scalable, enabling deployment across diverse operational environments. The roadmap begins with Phase 1, which covers the development of 10 to 20 kilowatt class systems. These represent the initial operational capability, providing India with tactical directed energy weapons suitable for counter drone and short range air defense roles. Phase 2, scheduled for 2028, marks the transition to tactical systems in the 50 to 100 kilowatt class. These systems are expected to deliver significantly enhanced lethality capable of neutralizing larger aerial threats such as cruise missiles and potentially providing shipborne air defense. BrahMos export surge is reshaping the defense industrial landscape with four key companies, Data Patterns, Bharat Dynamics, Hindustan Aeronautics, and L&T, emerging as major beneficiaries. Their integration into the BrahMos ecosystem has positioned them at the forefront of India's defense export boom, driven by multi-billion rupee deals across Asia and beyond. The BrahMos supersonic cruise missile, co-developed by DRDO and Russia's NPOM, has become India's most successful defense export. Once restricted to domestic deployment, the missile's combat validation during Operation Sindoor and subsequent contracts with the Philippines, Vietnam, and soon Indonesia have transformed it into a global deterrent system. Data Patterns has emerged as a strategically positioned defense electronics firm. With deep R&D capabilities and end-to-end in-house development, it supplies critical subsystems for BrahMos, including guidance electronics and testing systems. BDL is the primary manufacturer of the BrahMos missile. It has expanded production capacity with new facilities, including units dedicated to integration and assembly. Hindustan Aeronautics plays a crucial role in integrating BrahMos onto aerial platforms. The successful deployment of the air-launched BrahMos on Su-30 MKI fighters has opened new export avenues, with countries seeking complete packages of aircraft and missile systems. L&T contributes through its advanced engineering and manufacturing capabilities. It has been instrumental in producing launchers, canisters, and specialized vehicles for BrahMos deployment. The Ministry of Defense has decisively ended Bharat Dynamics' monopoly in tactical missile production, opening the sector to private sector under the Defense Acquisition Procedure of DAP 2026. This marks a major structural reform, distributing DRDO's missile programs among both public and private industry to accelerate development and strengthen self reliance. DRDO has distributed between 10 and 12 tactical missile development projects among public and private companies based on their capabilities, moving away from the earlier reliance on BDL as the sole production partner. This policy shifts aligns with the proposed DAP 2026, which seeks to build an ecosystem that fulfills India's aspirations of self reliance in advanced weaponry. Tactical missiles, which are short to medium range guided weapons carrying conventional warheads, have become central to modern warfare. Unlike strategic missiles designed for intercontinental strikes, tactical missiles are intended for precision attacks against localized enemy forces, infrastructure, and assets. The reform is also seen as a prelude to discussions within the armed forces about raising a dedicated rocket force similar to those established by China and Pakistan to provide coordinated responses against aerial threats. Anadrone Systems is developing the SHAKTI loitering munition with a reported range of up to 1,000 kilometers, 25 kilograms payload, and 4-hour endurance. The platform is intended to provide affordable deep strike capability against high value targets and represents the growing sophistication of India's startup led drone ecosystem. India will soon undertake the first test flight of indigenously made high-altitude pseudo-satellite, which will enable longer duration surveillance from an aerial platform over geographical locations. The test flight of the platform will be undertaken by National Aerospace Laboratories, also known as High Altitude Platform Systems (HAPS. NAL has so far undertaken the test flight of a scaled down prototype of the platform, which has been test flown as high as 7.5 kilometers altitude with over 10 hours endurance. The full scale platform is being designed to be able to rise up to 23 kilometers altitude, over 75,000 feet, and stay airborne for at least 90 days. One of the world's largest industrial real estate developers, Panatoni, announced a 150 crore rupees advanced manufacturing hub in Hyderabad. This is its first build to own facility in the country, which, according to the developer, will be designed to serve the exacting demands of aerospace and high complexity manufacturing companies. The facility will span 1,52,000 square feet across a 10-acre plot with construction scheduled to break ground in July 26 and a targeted completion timeline of 15 months. At its core is a 1,12,000 square feet manufacturing shop floor built to aerospace grade specifications, a 9-meter clear height, production slabs with a load bearing capacity of 5 tons per square meter, and a climate control system that holds interior temperatures strictly between 25 and 29 degrees Celsius. This kind of precision prevents microscopic deformation of materials in high tolerance parts. Under the BTO model, a first of Pantone in India, the developer absorbs all construction and infrastructure risk, delivering a ready to occupy ownership grade asset to the occupier. Now, the global news. Collins Aerospace has opened an expanded manufacturing facility in southeastern Poland as it increases production capacity for aircraft landing gear systems. The 22,000 square meter facility in TEJASTRA represents a $69 million investment and is expected to increase landing gear production capacity by nearly 25%. The expansion is part of a wider effort by RTX to increase its manufacturing footprint in Poland, which has become one of the company's largest international operating hubs. Hensoldt, Indra, and Leonardo are preparing to begin airborne trials of the new European Common Radar System ECRS Mark I ESA radar destined for use on German and Spanish Eurofighters. Ground tests of the sensor by Indra have seen the sensor stimulated with live targets of opportunity and cooperative targets. The companies say the early results show advantages in robustness and performance of the sensor. The next steps will be to see the radar installed on instrumented development Eurofighters and on the Airbus A320 airliner borrowed by Airbus from German Aerospace Center. DLR and equipped with the Eurofighter nose for radar experiments. The Mark I radar is set to equip the new build Tranche 4 Eurofighters to be acquired by Germany and Spain and likely the Tranche 5 aircraft also ordered by Germany. The German Air Force will also retrofit the radar onto its Tranche 2 and Tranche 3 model aircraft. The milestones emerge as Airbus Defence and Space prepares to fly the first examples of the Tranche 4 Eurofighters built in Munching, Germany and Getafe, Spain in the coming weeks. Airbus announced the rollout of the first Spanish Tranche 4 aircraft on 1st of June. Poland's armaments agency signed three contracts with WB Group for the delivery of more than 400 Warmate loitering munition systems, nearly 200 fly-eye unmanned aerial vehicles, and 12 battery-level units of the Gladius unmanned aircraft system. These contracts will be funded via the EU's Security Action for Europe (SAFE) financial instrument. Under SAFE, member states can receive part of Euro 150 billion euros in long maturity loans for investment in defense capabilities. The first of three contracts signed between the Armaments Agency and WB Group is for the delivery of the Gladius systems. The Gladius consists of air and land components. The air components include the FT-5 UAV, which comes in electronic intelligence, imagery intelligence, and synthetic aperture radar variants, according to WB Group. The FT-5 is used for intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance. The unmanned systems will be integrated with the Topaz battle management system, which is in service with the Polish armed forces. The land component includes command vehicles, launcher vehicles equipped with launch ramps, command and control vehicles, mobile analysis stations, ammunition vehicles, and technical support vehicles. Each of the 12 battery models will include launchers, command vehicles, ammunition, technical support vehicles, and UAVs. In the war zone, United States military has intercepted and destroyed two Iranian attack drones in the Strait of Hormuz, marking a sharp escalation in hostilities across West Asia. According to US Central Command, the drones posed an immediate hazard to international maritime traffic, prompting American forces to engage and neutralize them. The incident highlights the fragility of the ceasefire framework, which has already been strained by repeated clashes in recent weeks. A quick wrap of today's news. India is expanding its submarine fleet with 9 vessels, seeking indigenous rockets for MiG 29K fighters, advancing key programs including the Virupaksha AESA radar, L&T's unmanned turret, and the TEJASTRA directed energy weapon roadmap. India's defense industry received a boost as BrahMos exports drive growth for data patterns, BDL, HAL, and L&T, while tactical missile production has been opened to private firms. Anadrone has begun work on 1,000-kilometer range SHAKTI loitering munition, and India is preparing to test fly a full-scale high-altitude pseudo-satellite for surveillance missions. A 150 crore rupees investment has been announced for Hyderabad's aerospace sector. Collins Aerospace expanded operations in Poland. Hensoldt and Indra tested new Eurofighter radars, and WB Group secured fresh UAV contracts. In the war zone, the US intercepted Iranian drones as tension continued to escalate across the Middle East. At Sugosha Media, we simplify complexity, from decoding defense policies to enabling market entry and structuring offsets. We help organizations move from strategy to execution in India's aerospace and defense ecosystem. Join our online thought leadership sessions featuring insights on defense, aerospace, strategic technologies, and emerging innovations. Follow Sugosha Advisory on LinkedIn to stay updated and be part of the conversation shaping the future. Our focus is clear: turning regulatory understanding into business outcomes. We look forward to partnering in shaping the next phase of growth in this sector. Thank you.